Welcome, 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 everyone. So excited to have you all here this evening, this morning, whatever time you'll be listening, watching this interview. We have the beautiful one and only Miss Yola in the building. What's going on?
Hey, recovery is going on because your girl is exhausted.
Well, you've been working hard, so you should be exhausted, but it's for good reason.
It is. It is. I've just finished Broadway, and no one ever tells you that, you might, it's hardcore cardio. No one tells you. It's like, surprise, you've just done a level of cardio that, I lost 10 inches in the first 6 weeks.
What was that something you have been trying to do
alone? No. I don't want to be thin.
Oh my God.
I've been doing squats. Here they are sabotaging my plans, but it's okay. It's on 5 floors and it's all steps. So
okay.
We're in, we're fine. No worries.
You are currently on Broadway right now in Hadestown.
Oh, I just finished.
You just finished. You finished the whole show?
I finished my run. So I had a 4-month run. And nice. I finished it on Sunday.
Man. So what was that experience like?
So imagine that you went to a boot camp that was mostly based in cardio. But then in the middle of that boot camp, they broke it to you that you would go into rehearsals for a month and you would learn a bunch of choreography and sing. But it's still boot camp. It's so similar to a boot camp. I can't tell you specifically, this show. It's called Hadestown, and just everyone's caked up. Everyone's got the cakes because it's on like 4 floors in the basement, so about 5 floors that the theatre's on, and the show itself is very physical, and it's also kind of a bit more based in contemporary music. And so your freedom to interpret it is kind of free, so I can bring my soulfulness to it.
Nice.
Which we like.
We love that. We love that. We love that. We love that you can bring soul.
But it's hardcore. And you do 6 days a week. And you do 8 shows in those 6 days.
But you know what's great about that whole experience? In the midst of all that, you get the money.
Hey, you know, so I didn't have to pay my personal trainer.
Oh, come on now. There's perks all across the board. Perks. Perks,
yo. I would have done work and then paid my personal trainer, but I got paid to do boot camp.
And so, now you've learned those lessons, and now you can take them home and continue them.
And take them on the road as well, which is it's
and teach a class, and you get paid again.
That's what I'm talking about. So, and we are about that bag. Let's be real. And
come on. Without a bag, we can't get a bag.
That part. So the thing that really, I was like, this is the perfect strengthening conditioning for tour, to my mind. And specifically because we're on a lot of floors. Not all the theaters are like that. Okay. Specifically, this production in this place is perfect strength and conditioning for going on tour. It's unreal. So I was like, I am so all the way into this, because by the time it gets to me being on the road, I'm gonna be so ready. So
what did you take really away beautiful. Outside of the exercising and the cardio and the boot camp?
It's beautiful.
Okay.
As well. So that's the upside. It's also the thing that really struck me was the message of the show itself is really beautiful.
Okay.
And the lighting design, the set design and the lighting design is stunning.
Was this your first Broadway musical?
Yeah. I know nothing about. I know about rock and roll. Okay. That's what I know about. I know about my general soul music body and how I interject that into various permutations of rock and roll.
Well, now you can say you knew. That's all you knew, because now you know.
Yeah, I say that. Like I did, I was played Sister Rosetta Tharpe, arguably the, you know, beginner genesis of rock and roll in herself, in the Elvis movie.
Right.
And in doing that, I learned a little bit about the acting, singing hybrid kind of thing.
Okay.
But this was a lead role as opposed to, you know, a supporting role. And so it's just a lot more hardcore. But it's really emotionally like involving. I think that's something that I wasn't prepared for. It's like it's really emotionally involving. And you have to excavate these emotions. You've got to find them and excavate them every night, like it's fresh.
Was this your first time being in the States?
No, I've been here for 5 years.
Oh my God! Yeah. So, and you're in New York.
I just moved.
Okay. Well, welcome.
Yeah, I have.
Welcome. Welcome. So nice to have great energy, more great energy in New York.
Yes.
Yes, you have a nice vibe, and you're working and contributing to our culture, and we thank you for doing that. You feel me?
That part,
you know?
because
So,
like I'm from the UK, obviously, and I moved over here for work, and so to start with, I was just living between the UK and the US, and I like still kind of do, but I spend more and more time here, and most of my time here. It's turned into me just trying to find where my people are in America, as opposed to how much I'm in America.
Well,
and
they are
so,
right
like,
here. They're right here on the
though?
soul of the streets.
It's right here.
It's right here.
It is New York.
It is.
It is
the one and only place, and you are thriving in this city, in the state, in the city with your beautiful gifts.
Hey, like something that I was never expecting. I've probably been to 47 of the 50 states. I know, because I've been on tour a lot. And in those states, I probably went to multiple cities in most of those states. And when I met people that were dope, I'd be like, I really like your energy. Where are you from? And they'd say somewhere within this kind of tri-state area.
Really?
Like so many times that after like the 30th time, it stopped becoming a coincidence. And I was like,
New Yorkers are everywhere.
Yeah, but the energy, I kept picking it out. Like,
how would you describe that New York energy from being from the UK and being around so many different people in these different states that you've traveled on tour? How would you describe the New York energy?
Real.
Real what?
Hey. So, like, you know when people give you the kind of smile with the crazy eyes? And you know they ain't really smiling. You know that's a grimace because they ain't real. I prefer someone to cuss me out and actually be helpful than be fake nice and then be underhand or just
right.
You know? And I've always been looking for a place that I feel like doesn't center any cultural norm particularly, that is a melting pot of a bunch of cultures, so that you can find your culture within that, instead of it being like, okay, this is a place where there's mostly one type of person, and so that when we say normal, we mean this group. I'm like, I don't want that. I want it to be like, I can find my tribe here. And so, like, that's been the mission. How many people they lived here?
How many people have made it into the tribe so far?
Well, you know, I'm talking about, like, you know, inner circle, like the people that are like your best friends, as opposed to like just, I've met loads of people that like I'm friendly with, but people that are like inner circle, that's always going to be a smaller number. And
right.
And those inner circle people, like 90% of those are here. and it stopped becoming a coincidence after a while. I was like, I just love how I feel the culture here.
It's definitely
Personally.
here.
It's definitely here.
And
Like,
we love creatives from UK, because some of my favorite artists, some of my favorite music is from over there.
yes.
Like I was listening to Future Enemies, which we support on the Solar Streets. A dope song. It just made me remember some of the great R&B artists that I grew up listening to, like Loose Ends,
Yes.
Soul to Soul, Karen Wheeler,
Especially
of course.
Karen Wheeler, let's talk.
Oh my God, Lisa Stansfield.
Yes.
Mika Paris. I mean, it's
Yes, Misha.
so many. Yeah, Misha. See, when you from the States, you say Mika.
Oh,
you don't know what to say.
Okay,
I don't know.
I'm learning
That's
these
what I
things
was
all the
saying.
time.
But My One Temptation, that album was fire.
Omar.
I mean,
You know,
there's so many. So how with coming from such a great legacy of would it be considered R&B in the UK? Like, what do they call our music out there? Is it R&B?
Yeah, we call it R&B. I think we categorize in the same way.
Okay,
like
great.
I think the way that we understand the categorizations is different. And so like you get to a situation where people are they'll group more things together. And I think that's mostly because the distance, like the perspective of having something that far away, like makes you see the similarity between genre more than the difference. And also a lot of our radio, especially if you're a millennial, wasn't really that genred. And so like people will be making playlists based on, you know, or mixtapes based on the things that they liked, and you almost identified a genome in that taste profile more than necessarily a genre. And so like that's probably why like British soul people always sound British soul acts always sound like they've got a number of things building in. British hip-hop acts have a similar nature. Little Sims, you think of El Mean, you think of like all these people that are killing it right now. Like, yes, you can hear the influence from across the pond, but you can also hear like that there's a mixture. Like our perception is how close all these things are.
Gotcha. Oh, and I can't forget Five Star. I can't forget Five Star.
No, you cannot.
That was my favorite group. I cannot forget them. Doris, Lorraine, Denise, Elroy, and Stedman. Can't forget them. So you're bringing a unique sound to your artistry to just the world. And how you have Future Enemies out right now. You have Symphony dropping November 15th, and you are coming out with your project My Way in 2025, January 17th, I believe, right? Okay, so you have a lot of things coming up. What can we expect? Because Future Enemies is just great energy, great vibes. I love the drive of the music. Like it just takes you on a journey, which you don't really get these days. And no, you don't get it.
Thanks for saying it, because it's the truth, Buki.
Yeah, you don't get that. I mean, it's like American artists seem to forgot the musicianship and the drive of the actual music. Because like the music, you could tell that the musicians in this song really was on a journey. I don't know how the song was created, but it sounds like
all of my collaborators are American, and this is kind of the point, is that I don't think I've been talking to a friend of mine, Ray Angry, about this. You know, I know from the Roots, huh?
Okay, yeah.
and he's got this night called Producer Mondays in New York, in New Blue, and its function is this: the people that love music, bringing that spirit back. And I think, like, to me, but also just us in the culture generally, when we were watching Q-Tip speak on getting inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as
that was dope.
That was dope.
Amazing.
That was dope. I was emotional.
Yeah.
I was emotional because when they're talking about, you saw him choke up about 5, and you're like,
yes, rest in peace. Yeah.
Like, I'm not strong enough to watch this. Like,
and it was such a real emotion, and to see him on that stage getting that award, it's just like hip hop has come so far, and to know that you can someone like Q-Tip, who just like us, can end up on that stage rapping your truth. It's such an accomplishment. You know what I'm saying? It's like, not that we need their what's the word? We don't
like
we
a
don't need,
cosign type thing. Yeah, I
yeah,
know
we
what you
don't need
mean.
it, but it's just nice to see the culture evolve with every other genre of music and be respected. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we
That
put in a lot
part.
of work. We put in a lot of work listening, supporting,
Mm-hmm.
creating. Everybody, the whole culture is involved in these moments, because it doesn't happen with just one person.
It doesn't. And the most important thing that for me is that I'm not from here. And I was emotional. Do you know how far that power has to reach across an ocean to a girl in a freaking village in England? Like, I was desperate for some cultural touchstones outside of my Bajan mother. Do you know what I mean? like I was just like, and so like it spoke to me. And you know what they're talking about the artfulness of it, about how jazz was such a big part of it, and the sample culture was so deeply rooted in like in like African American culture and music, and like that is the stuff that gives music so like deep roots and soul, and so that punched a freaking hole through whatever was happening sonically in Europe and UK. And people were like, this is dope. And in the same way, at the same time as that was happening, basketball culture came over. You might wonder why you have a mysterious glut of Eastern European players all of a sudden. It's because of the UK syndicated their broadcasts of basketball to European countries. And so because of the Jordan era, because they were like, this is clearly something that's so important that people are searching for ways to watch it. So we need to kind of do some kind of deal. So we didn't get all the other sports. We didn't know crap about the other sports, but we got basketball at that era because it was so iconic. And on top of that rode just everything else. And so when we talk about the culture, it's the fact that the interplay is so important to how things travel. And that's like, and I was desperate. I was in a village. People didn't look like me there. Like I was like, my mom was from Barbados. She didn't know. Like,
were you the only one that had the gift of music?
Yes. So that was very isolating. And then
and you broke out.
Yes, I broke out. I
like Twisted Sister.
Yes, I broke out, and then I broke out again. So from my village to the neighboring city, from that city to London, from London. So I was in like the West London scene. I don't know, you might not have ever heard of it. It's called like the Broken Beat scene. And like a lot of artists and musicians from that scene are actually here in the States now, working with some considerable people. It was like a lot of rare groove music, kind of like a dancified rare groove mixed with like Afrobeat, singular. So not Afrobeat as we know it now, but like the Fela Kuti type, and sometimes Latin rhythm, kind of. But there was something really, and jazz was involved in it in a big way. And so, but it was a slightly dancified version of it, kind of like how UK garage is dancey, but it was so rooted in like soul and jazz that you get jazz dancers coming out to the events and throwing down. And so it was that kind of music that a jazz dancer could throw down to. And so like, it was really dope. It was really soulful. And I moved to London to get into that scene because I was like, I need to be there.
Right.
And weird enough, I was talking to, of all people, Van Hunt. You might be acquainted with.
Oh, okay, yeah, Van Hunt. Nice.
Yeah. Dope musician.
He's been putting it down for a long time.
But he was over there. He was in the UK for ages. And little did I know, we were in the same building for 3 years.
What?
Like, what the friggin' crap? So I'm talking to him. Halle Berry's doing an event in New York. I'm here. He's there, obviously in support with them because my representation's working with her as well. And so we're at this event, and my manager's like, "Oh, you should meet Van. You guys get on." And we get into it, and I'm like, "You were in West London when?" And he's like, "Then." I'm like, "You said that you were like in the Broken Beat scene, and you had a studio." There's only one place people have studios if they're in Broken Beat. Well, you're at the Saga Center. It's like, yes. I'm like, and so the thing that really kind of started drawing me over here was that like it was a very transatlantic scene. All the scenes, because at exactly the same time, grime was beginning. So grime was beginning, dubstep was beginning after grime, because grime's a little older. Like drum and bass and jungle, where jungle had died. Drum and bass was kind of petering out, but UK garage was like charting.
Okay.
So UKG was like the thing that everyone's kind of listening to on the radio. Grime and dubstep were the things that were starting to break through, but mostly underground. And Broken Beat was like the super hard thing that only the most badass musicians could get into because you needed massive jazz training. And as a result of that, like made it maybe a skosh more exclusive because it was harder, but also more transatlantic because of how more rooted in like American music it was. And so it became way more transatlantic as a kind of genre and expression type, but also more underground because it was more challenging. And so like when you dig into it, you're like, oh, I love this stuff. Like I was in a group called Bugs in the Attic. If you check out that record, like there are that album, there are records on that album that hold up today, like they were made yesterday.
Wow. So
check out World of Hurt.
How did you find your voice?
The birth canal, Buki.
The birth canal?
Yes! I'm African on the other side.
Like what were, because like your voice is so big and your energy is so refreshing, and the music, like you bring a funk to the music. Like where did that come from? Like who were the voices that inspired you to have this unique sound interpretation of music?
Yeah, and so I take the piss because I'm like, I don't have a living memory of what it was like to not sing, because I don't remember I started singing and speaking at the same time apparently.
Wow.
So I don't know what it's like. This might not be relatable to a lot of people, but I have literally no idea what it's like not to sing. I don't know what that feels like.
You remember your first song you sang?
And I couldn't speak for a very long time.
You remember your first song you ever sang?
Push It by Salt and Pepper, and I wasn't singing.
That wasn't singing. You sing. How did you sing it?
But it was my favorite. And my mom wasn't happy because I was still an elementary school kid.
Were you rapping it or were you singing the lyrics?
Yeah. I was trying to rap it, but I was like, I don't know, 5 or something.
Oh, okay.
4, 5. My mom was like, not
now, not yet.
Not yet. All in good time, girly, but not now. I didn't know what it meant.
I just pushed you out. It's too early.
I was way too early. If I understood it, that would have been way too early. But I had no idea. It's just the aesthetic I enjoyed. And I loved the energy that they gave, which was kind of like kicking doors down, really in ownership of themselves and really in ownership of their bodies. And I feel like I really kind of latched onto people like them and Queen Latifah UNITY.
Yeah.
So basically, like, split me open. I was like, yes! But it was always like that sense of, because I feel like in the 90s, there was a lot of like girl perv. Do you know what I mean? They were like, there was a lot of girl perv. Like, it was really totally acceptable to be kind of a perv and a girl and be really just, but not in like a kind of, not too predatory, just playfully, like Patra, you know?
Yeah.
You know, it was all very like,
I remember reading articles when Total would fangirl over Janet, and they were saying how they was fantasizing. I think one of them was talking about Janet in like a crushy kind of way, like to speak to the girl perv thing.
Yeah, but I feel like that idea of like, I wasn't like, I felt that I wanted to embody that as a young person, as opposed to be crushing on anybody, especially Janet. Like, so Janet was a big influence. Okay, and you can probably hear that a bit in Future Enemies.
She's my favorite. She's my favorite artist.
Yes, yes, and
my
so
favorite.
Love Janet. Yeah. Love Janet.
But you also love Shaka Khan, like
yes, I do.
But you voice these things like not too many people, vocalists, I hear with great big voices like yours mention a Janet Jackson in the same breath of a Shaka Khan. It's night and day. Like
it is, but my voice is night and day. So people think because I'm a plus size girlie that I'm going to be giving big all day. But then when you listen to others, like even in Future Enemies, the verse pattern is, I know you feel how you feeling. There's a stone go bitch, this temptation. I'm not busting it at all until the chorus. Then I show you what's popping. My voice is of extremes. It's of the light and the shade. It's of the power, and then it's of the aspiration. And so when I love it. I can be kind of syncopated, like Michael, like Janet. That idea of rhythm, and like you would get in Funkadelic, like you would get in all these that are rhythm, and especially Shaka as a drummer, because we all know Shaka's a drummer, right? If you're watching this and you don't know, now you know.
Little education here.
Yeah. But like she's got a drummer's brain with the way that she sings. And so like I feel like I've got a very similar kind of drummer's brain in my perception of time.
Okay.
And so like I think a lot of people, they love doing the runs and they love like playing with, you know, chord and harmonic, and that's beautiful. But my obsession is with time. And I love, and texture. So you'll be like, oh, I hear the bit, I hear the chorus. Whenever you think, and I'm giving it, I'm using the gravel in my voice, which is very Tina. That's the Tina part of my voice. So my voice is kind of like on the power, it's like a Tina Shaka hybrid. And then on its soft, it's more mini Ripperton Janet when I'm giving it no power.
I think that's dope that you get a chance to, with the music that you create, to utilize all those different influences in your, because it sounds so refreshing when listening to the music, because it's not just one dimensional, you know. It's like it covers a lot of ground, and it makes you think outside of the normal R&B, which I love, because I'm I love it. But when you hear something that has the same energy, same feeling, but the music it sounds today, you know, it doesn't sound dated, and it sounds big. It sounds like we don't get that anymore. We don't get that from the States anymore. So I thank you for bringing that back to
I feel like a lot of people talk about like how rock and roll kind of jumped across, you know, the Atlantic backwards and forwards in the way that it was interpreted. But people don't talk about how we talk as Black people across the ocean. It's not a conversation that happens. But I said when I was talking to Van, when I'm talking to people, we're all talking about how we're going backwards and forwards all the time. We're talking about how we speak to each other all the time. And you know, the people that I know that are really into UK artists because of the way that they interpret what was given from African American artists, is like, it's an essential relationship. It's an essential conversation. And some of the dopest music, you don't get Sade if that doesn't happen. You know?
Sade is another one,
Yes. Like, these are like really like essential partnerships that happen. And part of the kind of I think I want to say like diasporic culture that like I think in a very Pan-African way.
Okay.
I think in a very like we are the people. We've been spread everywhere, but we are the people. And I just got plonked here and you got plonked there. And my mum got plonked there, my dad was there, and you know, all that
I
kind of
get it. I
business.
get it.
And so I think like it's the most important thing that we can do is to keep on communicating through art. Like
Fact.
it just feels like a spiritual duty
That's a fact.
to keep that shit alive and to not let like diaspora wars get in the way of nothing, to not let like this idea of not being collaborative, like capitalism turn the concept of collaboration into a concept of competition. Like I really love the conversation. It's why I came here. It's why I fucking love being where I am right now.
That's a beautiful feeling.
You know, it's just, and it's not easy to get if you're plus and dark. If you're plus dark girly, they don't want that for you.
But that's why you wanting it for yourself.
That part.
It's not. It doesn't matter what they want. It's a matter.
It does not matter what they want.
It matters what you want, and what you want is what you're gonna get, and this is what you got because you want it and you put the work in, and now you're living the dream.
Hey, that's honestly all I've ever wanted, and it's funny how I end up here because I was in Nashville to start with, because that's where my deal was, and so I was I was there. My deal was there. I was making music, and I feel like I was finessing my agenda into the machine. Because, you know, when you debut, you don't have power, you know, like you amass power, you know? And so I went to amass some power, and kind of that, and 6 Grammy nominations and an Oscar nominated movie and an NAACP nomination later. I'm like, okay, we're doing some stuff. And
very
now,
well deserved. Very well deserved.
Like it was, I had to endure a lot. Let's put it that way, and and I had to understand how to navigate the politics of a place that technically speaks the same language, but don't. For the first year, people didn't understand half of what I said because I spoke so much UK slang.
Oh, okay.
So it's a different language. I actually had to learn a different language. People really underestimate like what it is to emigrate. Like it's a lot. Being an immigrant is a lot. And so yeah, like, and I had to use my life savings. Basically, my mum passed. I was like, you could either just do nothing and buy a house, and then just like, that's your money in there, that's you, stay. Or you can throw it at what you really want to do, and then you're living by the seat of your pants, but you're doing what you want to do. So that's what I did.
And we are here celebrating the journey of Miss Yola. Because she's been doing it crazy.
I am so freaking happy I did.
What can we expect from the new single, Symphony?
So Symphony is really, I was talking about Parliament and Parliament Funkadelic as an outfit. And I was listening to Awaken My Love. Because when it came out, we all were. Are you kidding me? And like, then I was playing at ACL. And it was the same year that Childish was headlining ACL.
Okay.
And so, like, my tour manager at the time managed to, excuse me, I feel like I've got allergies. This is disgusting. Just don't mind if I'm
okay. Listen, we are in the time where it's happening too. So I just got over mine. So
I'm allergic to all these things. But like, we turns out we know someone in the Childish camp, and we can get like invites to the kind of viewing deck, the VIP viewing deck. I'm like, yes. Like, if there was ever a show I want to see, and like when you're a musician, like you're on tour all the time, right? So like that's like, it's very easy for you to get overloaded in a sensory way. And so the ones that you really want to see are the ones that you're basically obsessed with, that you just absolutely adore. And like Childish is it for me aesthetically. I love that record. I just love a lot of his music. And like, and there are a lot of artists in that kind of pantheon that I really fuck with. you know, the Steve Lacy's, the Thundercats, the Anderson Packs, you know, those kind of cats. But I had an opportunity to see this show. And it dawned on me that like this was like that I was kind of metabolizing things that he was metabolizing at the same time that he was like conceiving this record, that I'd been absorbing this stuff and I was starting to try and crowbar it into my second record. And I, with a little bit of success in moments, but not really as much as I would have liked. And so when it came to this EP, I was like, it's time. Because a lot of that type of stuff was where I started out with Bugs in the Attic. So a lot of, because that music was kind of, it was like a hybrid of like, you know, the rare groove type stuff, but also there's a lot of funk in it. And so
I'm excited to hear it.
And so, like, yeah, you want to check out that Bugs in the Attic record. There's only one, and like our full length album. And if you check out like songs like Consequences and World of Hurt, like they're dope ass records, man. And so yeah, I just felt like I was like really like processing the 70s music, and like it was finding its way out in all these different ways. But I couldn't get that part out in the environment that I was in at the time. And so I was like, it is time, because this is kind of a lot of my kind of cutting my teeth in Bugs was in this syncopated style of singing. We got this, I had to do there were a lot of group vocals in this band. I remember having to do like the bridge part, the song I was talking about, Consequences, and I had to jump my diaphragm. It was like, love, holy consequence, and I was having to literally do individual, like very physical diaphragm jumps to get the syncopation to really lock. And that was like, because I was so obsessed with singing and time, it was something that really kind of rang with me. Like resonated with me, you know? And so seeing that and then seeing the show, and I don't know if anyone someone watching this probably saw like Childish live that year, and the tour was dope.
I can imagine.
It was unreal. And so not only was I just massively inspired, but I realized that I'd been trying to get this out since I was in Bugs in the Attic, what? 2004, 2005, 2006, a bit 2007. You know, it don't crack. You'll never know how old I am. You can Google it, it's fine. But like, but it's never gonna crack.
You look great. You look great.
Yeah, hey, we love that it don't crack. God
you
bless.
You know what I'm saying? Because some of it does. Sometimes it cracks.
Hey, yeah, if you do crack, it'll crack.
Just not over here.
Just not over here.
Not over there.
Not over. Hey, exactly. But yeah, it was something that I've been like, I've not found an out for, but I started with music very kind of rooted in that genre, that kind of area of 70s music, of soul music and rare groove and funk. Like, I felt like a lot of that kind of went into the things that I was listening to. And so it was like, in the same way as when you listen to Mary J, if you didn't know about Roy S, you learned about Roy S, right? And if you didn't know about Smokey, but you listened to D'Angelo, you learned about Smokey. And so this is how I learned about that, the things that I was really being drawn to. And the same thing, this is why I was talking about Tribe. Because again, like they were drawing from that era as much as in jazz, as much as they were in funk. And so like, and a lot of East Coast hip hop was doing that specifically. And so like my mother was really into that. She collected records, so she was really like into that. And then like I was in a band cutting my teeth with this band that were drawing their influences from there. And I love Shaka and all of this and Janet. And then you start seeing the through line of my entire life is time and rhythmic singing. And yes, the runs, and yes, the soulfulness and blah, blah. But the thing that keeps stitching it all together is time. And so, yeah, I like Symphony is very much like my ode to that through line, you know, and aesthetically and subject matter wise, it's a sexy song. It's because Future Enemies is me dating and me like, so I'm out and okay, so I'm sat at the table, right? I'm like, oh hey, how you doing? You know, giving it all of that, and then like something comes out, and you're like, oh wow, this is how I know we're not going to get on, but we're having a nice time now. So how about we just continue this nice time? I'm going to steer the conversation away. And then I'm going to evaporate from your whole existence and you're never going to see me again. But like, so it's like a red flag song. Future Enemies is your red flag song. For when you know that there's a red flag, you go, oh, no.
Let's just enjoy the moment because there won't be another one.
Yeah, that part. Just like trying to get out of situations without it having to be drama. Because it doesn't always have to be drama.
Right.
Sometimes a motherfucker needs to know. But sometimes they
don't.
Sometimes
you
it's
just,
not necessary.
You like the body language speaks for itself. You pretty much got an idea if you're gonna see me again.
Yeah, exactly. But sometimes you want to just be able to evaporate in a good vibe. And sometimes you don't want to be to signpost that shit ain't happening, Buki. Sometimes you just want it to be like, I'm not going to lead you on like it's a vibe, but I'm not going to give you you're an enemy. Because the idea is that you don't need to make those memories, those negative memories with a person, because they haven't happened yet. Like every person you see on the street, you're not going to get on with them. But maybe some of these motherfuckers you nod a hat to, right? You do the freaking nod to. You don't know this motherfucker. They could be an asshole. But that's what community is. You don't know all these motherfuckers. You don't need to know all these motherfuckers, right? And so if you can maintain acquaintanceship with a certain volume of people, you can create a nice sense of community. You don't have to get to know absolutely everybody to like
we all add something to community some kind of way. So we don't need to know. Everyone just needs to do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, but also like not everyone is supposed to be in the inner circle.
That's a fact.
Not everyone's supposed to be in your personal inner circle.
They need to be. They need to be in our. We need to start celebrating our outer circle.
Yes, we do. Circle. Do you know what? I'm gonna quote you because that is basically the most succinct description I've ever heard of the song. We need to celebrate our outer circle. I don't really know
the ones that will never get in. The ones that will never get in. We celebrate you for all that you've contributed to our inner circles.
Yes. It's important that you're there. You create a sense of community, and you don't belong in here, but it's fine.
And we don't belong in everyone's circle.
No, I certainly
everyone
don't.
has their own circle. Some people don't want me in their circle at all.
Yeah, but that's great.
I'm still here contributing with a smile and purpose.
Because it's really dope. If you both realize like, oh, we're not going to get on, but this is nice. Let's keep it here. And we don't have to become enemies because we don't overexpose ourselves in a job we're not qualified for.
Right.
And so like that's Future Enemies is like, you can take it as a negative thing. You can see it as an opportunity to go, great, we didn't create drama where it didn't need to be created. That's dope.
That's really dope. Very dope. Very dope.
You know, and so Symphony is the antithesis of that coin. It's the, oh, hey, bitch.
I like it.
It's me and my dating guys. It's the blokes. It's the guys, and that I do like. It's the guys that I do like that didn't have any red flags, and I'm now in a relationship. Indeed, one of the gentlemen made it.
Right, made it into the inner circle.
Yes.
All the way in the inner circle.
Yes, right there, you know. And so like
congratulations.
Hey, you know.
Let me ask you, how many songs will be on the project My Way?
So the EP is a generous EP. It's a 5-track EP.
Oh, nice. So you said like in and out with some good songs.
Yeah. It's like, it's not a full length album. I wanted to kind of give it kind of half album energy. Okay. And so, yeah. And then because the idea is to be doing what I'm doing now, which is keep on writing. Like the tunes are giving. And so I'm just going to keep writing, you know. And
I hope to see you out here in these New York City streets
Yes.
And because your energy is just amazing, and continued blessings with everything you have been doing. This
Yes.
has been such a great time to talk with you.
Oh, it's been a real joy. Thank you so much for having me. I feel really welcome to the sea.
Yes, yes. And we will definitely be supporting all your music, Future Enemies, Symphony when it drops. Definitely we're
Yay!
checking out, looking forward to hearing My Way in January. It's like you just got a lot of things going on. Looking forward to this and going back into the catalog and seeing what was, what's been created. So when we get this opportunity again to speak on the Solar Streets, we could just have more musical, what I'm saying? More musical situations. Because this is what it's about.
I know, it really freaking is. And like, honestly, I love just to nerd out about shit I love. And so nerding out with another nerd who loves to nerd about shit they
Yeah,
love
man.
music nerd life is life. And the people I'm connecting with in
And
this
it
scene.
keeps you out the way. It keeps you safe mostly.
Yay, that part, keep me in the right circles. And
Right.
so, yeah, no,
How
I
can
love
the
it.
people find you on social media for
So
the ones
you
that
can find me on
don't know you?
Instagram / I am Yola official, because I am Yola and it's official.
Talk about it.
And then you can find me on TikTok. I am Yola. Wait a second, I'm just gonna get my head straight here. Yeah, I'm Yola official on TikTok as well.
Nice, nice, nice. And it's like I said, it's been amazing. Those of you that don't know where to find me, you can find me on the Hype NYC on Instagram, the Hype Radio NYC on X, and TikTok, G-Waterz something, but it's somewhere there. We outside. We on all these social platforms.
We
Facebook.
are. I'm
We are
kind of new to
outside. We in the
TikTok,
streets.
but I'm there now.
Come on now, come on. So I'm hoping that I really get to see you soon, and hopefully a show or something that you have coming up.
Yes.
Any shows coming up?
Oh, so I'm going into the studio. So I'm doing the other side, but like,
Okay.
like we might be pulling something together. I'm gonna tell Doug, but we'll see you.
Nice, nice. Well, it's been amazing, amazing talking with you, Yola. Thank
Same.
you. Shout out to your team and everyone that just helped make this happen. And looking forward to seeing you rise
Yay!
all the way to the top.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. That
You're
was
welcome.
freaking awesome.
Have a great one. Great, 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 great.
All right. Okay. Bye.